What is up, Flockers? That is my fellow Lockers and aspiring Lockers. In today's video, I'm going to be walking you through my braid out process from start to finish. So the first thing that I do is I go through and I saturate my locks with my continuous spray bottle. And here I'm only doing half of my head at a time because what I found is that my hair, the water will evaporate quickly as I'm going along and doing the braids, so I don't want to wait. And I go in with my Locs moisturizer. I use this as a leave-in conditioner. Um, and so I'll get a decent amount on my hands and just run that through my hair. And I do the whole half section to start, just so that way it's already moisturized, it's already primed and ready, and that way I don't have to go through and add that to each section as I go along. But I do try to do my best at making sure that it gets on every lock and that it saturates them. So as you see, I'm doing praying hands as I'm wiping it through, and just if I feel any spots that maybe didn't get as much water as I would like, I'll go in and add a little bit more water to those spaces because I don't want my hair to be dripping wet, but I do want it to be wet enough that I don't have to go in and use more later. And what I use for a little bit of hold is the Lotta Body setting foam. This is something new that I've just recently tried, and I don't go in with a ton. I just do one pump and then I will rake that through the section. Now, if you're new to braid outs, then maybe this isn't something that you know, but those that do braid outs regularly know that the larger the section, the looser the wave pattern is going to be. And so if you want super tight, really defined braid outs, then the smaller the better. If you're wanting a looser look, then you can go for larger, chunkier braids. Or if you want something in the middle, then you can do that. For me, when I do braid outs, it typically has to do with time that I actually have available. If I have a good, considerable amount of time available when doing the braid out and time for it to dry, then I will do smaller sections. But if I'm in a hurry and I just need a quick little wave and bop to dop and keep it moving, and I want my hair to dry a little bit quicker, then I may do larger sections and just not make my hair as wet when I go in with the spray bottle in the beginning. And because my locks are still short and it's just easier for me that way, I will secure it with the rubber band at the end, and I'm not putting a ton of pressure. I'm not making a ton of knots with the rubber band, going around several times. I literally just loop it one time as I curl the ends up just to make sure that there is a wave pattern or curl to the entire length of the lock and not just, top until you get to the bottom, because nothing's worse than having your whole lock have body and definition in a wave and then you get to the end and it's just flat and straight. So I will curl those ends up on top of the lock and, like I said, secure it with a rubber band. And I believe I'm using black ones. I have clear ones that I've used in the past, but you just have to find a color that works for you if you're going to use them. If you do end up doing them small and want to leave this in as a style for a couple of days before taking them out, then you want to make sure that you get some that either blend in with your hair or you get some that are clear that aren't going to stand out. You wouldn't want to use the multicolored ones if you're planning on rocking, unless that is what you want to do, and that's on you, and that is totally okay if that is what you want to do. Um, I don't rock mine as a style. As you see, this one is Pippi Longstocking and just doing me all sorts of wrong, giving Pippi Longstocking Felicia, and does not want to lay down. Part of it is because it's a little thicker. I don't sit there and count locks as I go. I just do it by feel. I try to get them all around the same size, but typically the ones in the front that are framing my face, I will make those a little bit smaller. And then as I get further into the back, the sections do get a tiny bit larger just because one, uh, if we're just keeping it honest, it's because my hands and arms get tired. And I'm like, the bigger I make them, the quicker this can go. And they're not the ones that are framing my face. So for me, it's not that important that there's a consistent wave or consistent look all the way through my hair. For me, it's most important that the ones, like I said, that are framing my face are the tighter ones. And then as you go around to the back, it's a little bit lighter of a wave. Yeah, that one is really doing me dirty, just sticking out like that. So, um, And I also don't try to achieve the exact same amount of locks on each side. If you can see, even my parting was tragic and I didn't get the parting down the center, so it's not going to be the exact same amount, but I try to get as close as possible without putting too much thought into it. But I do the exact same thing on the other side. I go in, saturate my hair with water, and then I use my Lion Lock spray or not spray, the leave-in conditioner for the amazing smell and just for the fact that it makes my locks soft. And then I will go in with the Lotta Body and add the Lotta Body to each section, one pump, and rake it through just so that it gives my hair a little bit of extra hold and holds for longer. Some people like when their style lasts for a super long time, and then there's others that like when I'm the type of person that I like my locks, 3, 4 days into a braid out. I don't like it the first couple of days because it's super tight. I prefer it when it starts to weigh down and the super tight curls start to fall. And so there's another one that just gravity is not on my side with some of these sections, but that's okay. I'm not at a point in my life where I'm ready to wear this out in a style. As my locks get longer, then I might actually do the small sections and wear it out for a couple of days. All right, and then this is the next morning. I let it air dry overnight, and I don't put any oil or anything special on my hands before going in to undo them. And I'm not particularly careful. I know some people try to be very careful when they're separating. After all the steps that I took and putting the Lotta Body in there, these things aren't just going to come undone for me unraveling them. And even when I just use water and oil in the past, they don't just undo. So I don't feel like it's necessary to be extra cautious and careful when taking them down. I mean, you don't need to pull at them and be extra rough, but to me, there's just no reason for my hair for me to go in and do the most. So I just go through and I take out each section. Sometimes I use a rubber band popper for that, and then I just go through and rake until I get the desired look and fullness for my hair. The more you rake through, it kind of fills in and gets rid of all those creases. So yeah, and then part as you like. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like videos like this. See you in the next one.